Today we're in Psalms 139, and I always have it up on the screen for backup, but if you want to turn over there, go ahead. Psalms 139, and it's a psalm about David going off about God knowing him completely. Not just the highlight reel of David with him slaying a giant or dancing in front of God and it pleased God, but I'm talking about everything. The parts of him that he was proud of and the parts of him that he didn't want anybody to see. Guys, that's why we called this series Unfiltered Faith, which, by the way, next Sunday is the end of our Unfiltered Faith series. Have you guys grown through Unfiltered Faith? Man, I know I have. Yes. We call it Unfiltered Faith because God doesn't just know the polished version of you. He knows the real you, and he loves you anyways. And this got me to thinking, man, like, how many times have you experienced looking for help, but you're only willing to receive it from a source that knows you and understands you and you trust? Calling a friend that knows your story. Looking at a post that knows exactly how you feel. Katie and I have got this cute little game we do that when we see a Facebook post and it's like exactly what we're trying to say, but we don't know how to say it, we like send it to each other. Any of you guys do that in your marriage? And then it's like we're trying to say, like, this person can explain to you how I feel because we trust voices that understand us. And I gotta be honest with y'all, man, like I got frustrated at Psalms 139 over the week. So I took a mile-long prayer walk on the sunniest day I could find to pray to God the whole way, and I got unfiltered with him, y'all. God, if you really know us and the people that are gonna be here on Sunday, if you really know us like you knew David, better than anyone else ever could, better than we know ourselves, so what? Unfiltered prayer, man. A prayer walk, just telling God, so what? And I asked him, like, even if you have awareness of all of me, what does that matter in my life? And he waited, man, I love our God, because he waited until I got to the top of the driveway, which is the end of the walk, by the way, to put on my heart what I'm about to tell you. You guys ready for it? You already don't take advice from anyone who doesn't know you and understand you. So because God completely knows me, he has what I need. He has what I need. I want you to look at your neighbor right now and say, I got needs. Say it, but look at him back and say, but God knows me. That's right. Pray with me, church. Lord, we're not here today for just more information. We're here to experience the transformation of you knowing us more than we know ourselves. Let this be the moment that we find more of you. Let this be the moment our enemy hides his face, cancels his plans, and runs away from our heart. Because this is the moment we've become convinced that you completely know me, so you have what I need. I pray for all churches in Franklin County that are following Jesus. Give us an overflow of your growth today. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's get the lights up. Can we give God a couple of rounds of applause? Yes. We love you, Lord. This may be the only chapter in the entire Bible where you celebrate having a stalker. I was, in my previous life, a moving guy. I owned a moving company. And there were these rare moves that I absolutely loved doing. And it was these moves where there was a little amount of stuff that I could pretty much move myself, but it was a long distance. It was basically somebody paying me to go on vacation. It was awesome with a little bit of work attached to it, okay? And I'd make money on it, so that's pretty awesome. So I had one of these moves up in the Boston area. They didn't come around very often. And I asked my sister, hey, you want to jump in the truck and come with me? And she did. And we took this awesome trip to Boston. I think the move when we got up there took like an hour and a half. It was awesome, man. So on the way back, we got this really cheap hotel trying to save some money. And we got some really cheap Chinese food, which I think is still like somewhere in here right now. Like, it was rough, man. And she comes through the door from the lobby. Like, I'm already up in the room. And she comes through the door and she was like, "Hey, big brother, there was a guy down in the parking lot in an actual van that kind of stalked me for like 5 minutes in the lobby and in the parking lot." Guys, I was in this phase where I thought it was cool to wear like old man white socks up to my knee. So I had those jokers pulled up. I thought it looked athletic. And let's just say I was in really short shorts, and I busted through that door looking for that guy. Like, "No, sir, that ain't happening." He was already gone. The point of that story, man, is like there's levels of access that we give people in our life. Creepy old man guy in the van trying to abduct my sister, zero access. He looks lucky he didn't get access to my face, man. Like zero access. Some people in your life get zero access, not because you're mean, but because you've learned like not everybody deserves proximity to your heart. You know what I mean? Like some people you let in and you keep them at arm's length. Like they know your name, but they don't know your nights. You know what I mean? Like they know your words and they hear your words, but they don't get to know what you're carrying. And then there's that rare inner circle few, and we see this actually happen a lot in our home groups. The ones that know your story and your struggles and your secrets, and when life falls apart, you can call at 2 a.m., but even they don't know everything. Now, I want you to lean into this and don't miss it, because this is Psalms 139. While you've been managing access to your life and to your heart, who can get close and who can't? Like who can know more and who can't? God knows, sees, and understands more than anybody in your life ever could. And here's the key, even yourself. He knows you better than you even know yourself. And I want to show you this morning how David puts it. And I think it's amazing. He said, "Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. You go before me and follow me. Every thought, every fear, every motivation, every mistake, everything you like about yourself and everything you don't like about yourself, every hidden need that you're too scared to say out loud, God sees it, God knows it, and God understands it. But this is the part that should make you want to go tell all of your friends that you follow God. He sees all of you, and He loves you anyways. He loves you anyways. He didn't back up when He saw how selfish you could be. He didn't flinch when it was the 5th time this past week that you lost it on your kids. Man, He didn't say, "That's too much for me." 20 years of people hurting you has turned into a bitter heart. He didn't run from you. He's the only one, and I mean the only one, that sees all of you and says, "I still want you, I still love you, and I can't wait to get closer to you." And in Psalms 139, and like David says, because God fully knows me, He has what I need. And the question He's not answering today is like, how can you feel better walking out of here than when you walked in? He's not answering that question. He's answering a question that usually terrifies people, which is, what's really going on inside of here? Like, what's really going on inside of me? If you just like open the doors of my heart, like what's really going on in there? And I hear the Holy Spirit asking a heart right now. If you already go to people for love and advice, even if it's just yourself, just because they know your story, why would you hold back from the one who knows you completely? Why would you give partial access to the one who formed you and knows your every thought and has stayed with you through every high and every low? Why would you give just a stage pass and not a backstage pass to the God who knows you fully and has never changed his mind about loving you. And it's easy, man, y'all listen to me for a second, man. It's easy to look at Psalms 139 and say, hey, there's really nothing for me here because I know God sees me and he loves me. Like I've heard that sermon before, right? It's so easy to look at it like that. But the problem with that perspective is like David was an old man looking back at his life when he wrote this. He was in his maturity years of his faith when he wrote this basic message of God sees me and knows me and has what I need. Here's what I believe. The more you realize how much God knows you, the more you realize how much you will never outgrow your need for him to develop you. Did you catch that? You will never outgrow your need for him to develop you. And that is what maturity in our faith looks like. I cannot tell you how many pastors I talked to before we launched the Draw Near Church, and just about every one of them told me if I could go back into my fire years when I had the energy, that's what a lot of them said, like, I just don't have the energy. And I was like, I'll carry it for you, man, let's go, you know? They said, I would go back and I would pray more. And that hit me. I was like, what? That's the thing you would change? You wouldn't like spruce up the hospitality or something? Like you would pray more? You know, this is years and years ago. And they said, absolutely. Because what they had learned in their maturity is not just Christian words, but dependence on God looks like a mature Christian. Depending on God desperately, that's what Christian maturity looks like. So David says, you and I are fearfully and wonderfully made. And he's not flexing confidence, you know. He's not trying to show you his muscles, spiritual muscles. He's proven that if you already know God and you already know that he sees you, then you should know that God is the one that's most involved in your life. You knit me together. That's in Psalms 139. You knit me together. Guess what that is? That's intentional design. My days were written. That's in Psalms 139. My days were written before I were born. That's purposeful direction. Man, like, don't miss this, guys. God's knowledge of you is not just information that he's keeping in heaven to stalk you. It's relational. It's intentional. So he can be ready to help you when you open up your heart to him. So I want you to know that God doesn't look at you like data. He looks at you like a designer. And that makes him the most qualified to handle your heart. Let me read this to you, man. It's so amazing. Like David said, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and you knit me together in my mother's womb. And then he got like really grateful. He's like, thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. Hey, has anybody told you in a while, like, you are God's workmanship and you are marvelous? You know, has anybody said that to you? I need to tell you that this morning. How well I know it. Here's the point. Let me ask you guys this. Could it be possible that you've been asking God for a solution when he's been trying to tell you he is the solution? Could that be like what's going on? And like maybe the reason you still feel the same after 27 generic prayers is like he wants you to discover that drawing close to him means that he needs to expose maybe the thing you buried 15 years ago that you forgot was even there. I hope you guys know I didn't come to like just fill time this morning. I came to fill something up inside of you. That's what I came to do. I remember I had this 1995 old car from the 90s, and I actually used it to launch our moving company. I had that in a trailer. I'm pretty sure the transmission went out like second move. I had this car, right? And I was trying to milk like 10,000 more miles out of it without taking it anywhere. You guys ever had one of those clunkers? And it started making this terrible noise as I was going down the street. And so I took it to the best mechanic there is, turn the volume up and send it. That was my mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was making noise. It hadn't done what it needed to do, and I just mashed the gas, man. We're going to get what we can get out of it. But when you do that to your heart, man, when you just like silence the symptoms, like when you just mute the mess, like when you just I'm gonna preach, like, quiet the chaos. When you just calm the cry, when you just hush the hurt, man, when you just cover the crack. Who's with me this morning? When you just dull the damage, when you just numb the noise, when you just patch the pain, and you never let the mechanic look under the hood, then your heart will never be whole. It won't be. It won't be. And honestly, you're probably going to walk through this faith wondering, why do I feel this way when I follow Jesus? Why do I feel this way? It's not because you've outgrown or outmatured your faith. It's because sometimes suppression feels better than awareness. I know somebody I'm preaching to. I know I'm preaching to somebody. Sometimes suppression feels better than awareness in our faith. So David's telling somebody in this room right now, like, God does not just want to fix what's on your schedule. He wants to expose something inside of you that he can see and probably you can't. Maybe he hasn't fixed it yet because he's trying to teach you that no matter how old you get, it doesn't matter how experienced you get. Listen to me, church. Y'all need to hear this. Like, it doesn't matter how many Bible studies you've done or how many Greek and Hebrew words you know. You're just not done needing him yet. And there is power in the simplicity of that message. You're just not done asking him to uncover you yet. I wish every high school graduate, you know, we got some graduations going on. I wish every high school graduate could hear my voice right now. Because before you get a chance to give your heart what you think it needs and mess that up, somebody that's older than 10, let me know, you know I'm in a room right now, you know, mess that up. Yes. David wants to position your heart to have what it needs before it forms addictions and unhelpful band-aids that lead to confusion about why you go to church, but you don't feel any different than your friends that don't. I wish every high school graduate could hear that one, man. And I'm preaching to anyone who's ever followed Jesus and wondered, shouldn't I feel different than this? And the reason I wanted our high school graduates to hear that is because I need them to hear before they get going hardcore in life. Like, your greatest need isn't success, even though that seems like the most relevant thing. It's not clarity. It's not even planning or fixing your future. Your greatest need coming out of high school, and everybody in this room, by the way, and moving into the next phase of your life, is to take your heart to the one who knows you better than you do. To tell your heart what it needs by asking God what it needs. What would it look like in my life? Man, I'm just reflecting. Can I just personally give you a testimony? What would it look like in my life if I were to ask God, hey, is this where you want my heart to be at this college? Do you want my heart to be dating this person? Do you want me here? I cannot wait for Draw Near to spread all over Franklin County so we can take the up-and-coming generation and go, let's position you in front of God to make your decisions instead of just shooting in the dark. Man, I can't wait, man, and it's happening already. So David is saying everyone's heart in here should look like an empty Google search bar for God to be typing in the next word you need to search for. And I don't think David's trying to creep you out when he says this right here. I can never escape from your spirit. And I'll be honest, when I first read that, I was like, that seems interesting, you know? But like, he's not trying to creep you out when he says, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you're there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride on the wings of the morning, somebody had some good coffee. If I dwell by the furthest oceans, man, he's saying that there's no place, listen to me, there's no place that you've gone emotionally, spiritually, or physically that is scaring God away from you right now. And that makes him the only one qualified enough to handle your heart and tell it what it needs next. And the problem is it's just easier to hide. Man, it's just so much easier to hide. How many of you guys know, like, let's do the hand thing. It's a cliche church thing. Let's do it. How many of you guys know that it's easier to fill a schedule than ask God for a next step? Nobody? Okay, but just me. I can preach to myself. It's fine. Like, it's easier to fill a schedule up than to ask God for a next step. Here's what I wanted to say, man. Like, David said it like this. I could ask the darkness to hide me and the light to become night around me, but even in darkness, I cannot hide from you. Here's what I want to do. Can you and I give God, don't do it yet, let me hear it, 5 seconds of praise. Let me tell you why. Because even when I hide from myself, He's not hiding from me. Can we raise that up to Him? That matters. That matters. My God will supply all your needs according to His glorious riches. Man, my Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is my fortress. Why should I tremble? And here's what David learned in his life. Don't miss this. God doesn't always take away your need because He wants to become what you need. That's what He's doing, man. One of the most poisonous words in our faith family there is I'm fine. Those are 2 words that poison our family, man. I'm fine. And I want to tell you why. Because living in the world of I'm fine isn't freedom. It's learned suppression. It happens when you hide your needs long enough to feel safe, but you've decided that healing is just a fantasy for you. And you guys still with me on that? Like healing is just a fantasy, so I'm going to do the next best thing and just hide from myself. David says, you can hide away from your mind to cope with life, but that does not mean, even if you can't feel it anymore, that your heart doesn't have needs. So I wonder if this is why God got you up to come to church this morning. So I could tell you, like, I'm fine isn't freedom. It's a filter that leads to a prison. And I'm talking about overeating, overspending, over-talking, over-bragging, yeah, even oversharing on Facebook. Every sexual addiction, listen to me, it all comes back down to a need in your heart with an I'm fine covering it up with darkness. So we're going to break that chain. We're going to break the chain of I'm fine because David says it comes from a very specific place. And it's a place of admiring how much God personally pays attention to you. You guys, I got to tell you this thing about Katie. All right, like she's standing in the kitchen sometimes and she knows what she's doing. All right, this is not on accident at this point, you know. And she's got this thing where she's frying chicken with one hand, kind of pokes her hip out and does that little foot thing up, and she's just waiting for me to come through the room. And when I do, I'm like, that's got my attention, you know? It's like she knows she's getting my attention, and I'm one of those country guys that's like basket full of chicken and sweet tea, and I'm running, you know? So like, it's a different kind of admiration, but the amount that God pays attention to you, it's almost like He's just showing off at this point. And the prison of I'm fine, it starts to die when you realize God has never for a moment stopped thinking about you. Let me show it to you right here. Like David's like, how precious are your thoughts about me, O God? They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand. So man, like what I came to tell you is you probably don't need more answers in your life. You just need like this new posture that says, God, you know me most, so I trust you. I'm not pretending I'm fine anymore. Search me and lead me. God, you have what I need. God, I'm blessed. Hey, listen to this, man. Like, I'm blessed because you see right through me. That's something that I haven't heard a lot. I've heard a lot of sermons, man. And I haven't heard that message a lot, and I feel like we need it. Like, God, I'm blessed that you see right through me. I'm blessed that you see my text messages. I'm blessed that you see my search history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm blessed that you hear what I whisper under my breath. I'm sorry I just spit all over you, Christian, but I got to get this message out, man. Like, what? Come on. Like, I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you're not running away from me and you see all of me. So David ends this whole thing by saying, because God is that good, your Monday morning should look like this: search me and lead me. And I want to illustrate this, you guys. I want to illustrate it, and I need your help to do it. And I think it's going to land. We'll see what happens. Can you grab the lights over there, my man? And listen, we're going to turn all the lights off for a second, and I just need you to sit still, okay? Let me see if I can get the blacked out screen going. This is going to shine a little bit of light, but I think it'll work. All right, turn all the lights off. You guys just hang with me for a second. No phone flashlights, okay? Earlier, before you came in here to service, I asked Cass back there, I said, can I have your wallet? He said yes, which is a lot of trust, you know? And I said, can I just toss it somewhere in this room? And he was like, yeah, go for it, man. Just don't lose it, right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look, after your eyes adjust, for Cass's wallet. Don't get up. And where's the edge of the stage? There it is. Don't get up. Just look for it right now. See if you can find it. I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds. Just look around the room and see if you can find Cass's wallet. Trying to find what your heart needs without God is like all of us standing up right now without our phone flashlights, without opening the door and without turning the lights on, and trying to find Cass's wallet. And I can almost hear David saying at the end of Psalms, I've tried that way with God. I've tried to give my heart what it needs without God. And I need you to know, I hear David saying this to you, I need you to know it just does not work. And the only true way, church, please hear me, that you can find what your heart really needs in this life is by asking God to do this. You see the wallet? Asking God to do that. Turn the lights back on for me, Gary. And I want to show you that this is what David said at the end of Psalms 139. He said, search me, O God, know my heart, test me, and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me along the path of everlasting life. What if that was your next prayer? Man, like, what if that was your next prayer? What if you left in the car right now, driving back into your normal, and you didn't go back into the prison of I'm fine, searching in the dark for a wallet that you can't find, man, for a relationship that you can't find, for the thing your heart needs that you can't find? Unless you ask God, search me and lead me, because He knows you well enough to give you what your heart needs. And I need you to hear this, like, you do not experience freedom just because God knows you. Hear me on that, church. God's going to know you whether you ask Him to or not. You don't experience freedom just because He knows you. You experience freedom by asking Him to search you, by asking Him to test you, by asking Him to expose in you what you can't even see, and to lead you. What if you sat down as a couple after worship, dating or married? What if you sat down and you said, before we talk about our future together, God, we're going to ask you, like, what does our hearts need as a couple? Before you said yes to your next job, you asked God, like, what if you just asked God, like, is this the job that my heart needs, or are you sending another one? It's already on the way. What if before you committed to your next friend, you asked God, is this the person you want in my life right now? Do you know how many people I did not need in my life, and I did not ask God, like, is this the one you're sending, or do I need to protect? This is going to change how you absolutely look at yourself. What if you went and looked in a mirror and asked God, what do you see in that reflection before you judged yourself? This is going to change your marriage, how you see yourself, the weight that you're carrying, and the people that you influence are going to be like, man, how did you get all this joy overnight? Because God fully knows me. He has what I need. Because God fully knows me, He has what I need. So I will ask Him to search me. Here's how I want to end it today, church. Repeat after me, and I ask God that you're going to have a blessed week. I hope that you grew out of Psalms 139. Next week, we're going to finish up this series, but just repeat this after me so we can kick our week off right. You guys ready? Repeat this after me. Say, God fully knows me, so he has what I need. Let's stand and sing our last song. I love you guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single sermon. If you feel called to give to Draw Near, click the link below, and we would love to see you at Draw Near any Sunday where lives are changing through real relationships, one person at a time.